Hi there, and good morning. It's 2 o'clock Thursday morning. I can't sleep, so I'm doing some more Jacob's Ladder testing. The things I do for you guys, it's unreal. I've just come in here just a little bit too late to catch some goals and so on. Um, just to recap on Jacob's Ladder, what it does is monitors the markets for a goal in the first 20 minutes. If there's no goal in the first 20 minutes, back bets are drip fed into the market in the over 1.5 market. If there is a goal in the first 20 minutes and it's just 1-0, those back bets are drip fed into the over 2.5 market. And if there's two goals in the first 20 minutes, those bets go into the over 3.5 market. Now, as I've alluded to in separate videos where I discussed how to stop bets going in at half time, as well as the latest video of showing you how to use a different technique to decide if there's any goals being scored. I've incorporated those into this particular version, and it certainly seems to be a lot more reliable now. So as you can see from this spreadsheet that I've got, I've been recording recently. I haven't been doing any specific fancy analysis of the matches. You know me, as I say all the time when I'm doing these football related videos, I'm not a football trader. So virtually all of these markets have been selected primarily based on semi-decent liabilities, simply for points of view of testing these markets and testing the automation. The first couple were losers. The first two I got were 0-0 results, but that flagged up a couple of things with the strategy anyway, which I was able to sort out. And there we are. So if I get rid of that, let's see what the state of play on this one is. Okay, so we've got lay bets going in at the over 1.5 goals market. It's obviously 1-0 on what, 34th minute. On the Chelsea-Newcastle game, we don't have a scorecard up at the moment for some reason. Let's see what's going on here. Right, there's bets been going into the over 2.5 market. So we've had 11 bets going in. I've got a killer fill on these bets of a minute. So sometimes if they don't get matched, you will find that we don't actually have the full bets. There's not that much money in this market just now, and that's 55 minutes into the game, and there's only 17,000 in the over 2.5 goal, so it's fairly illiquid. I've got the automation tab, so we've got, let me see, 11 bets or so have been triggered. Looks like it's still, what's the score? That looks as if there's been 2 goals. Right, let me see. Sorry for the big silence. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Number of bets you can check for half time. That's set to 1, so that's not been refreshed. It must still be half time. That's what it is. It's still half time before these lays are going in. So there must have been a goal very close to half time, because the over 1.5 goals is closed. Yeah, So the over 1.5 goals is because the lay bets need to get triggered or will start coming into the market. But because it's half time, they don't. And the reason for that is if there's a goal close to half time and the lay bets start being entered into the market to reduce the liability, of course the odds aren't changing that much and nothing else is happening. And so there's no point in putting the lay bets in. Keeping in mind that the lay bets are drip fed into the market as well. Rather than just closing off after the goal is scored, I decided to drip feed the lay bets in every 30 seconds. And so depending on how many back bets have got to be cleared away, that gives a little bit of time just in case there's a quick goal. Because if there's another goal, we'll end up getting this profit rather than whatever the greened up profit's going to be. That's the idea behind it anyway. So yes, the lays will start going in about another 3 or 4 minutes, hopefully. In the meantime, you'll see down in the Flamengo game that this has greened up. Let me just check that one. My bets. Okay, so we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 back bets accepted. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lay bets to clear them off. And it's configured as soon as the lay bets have cleared off the liability, the market's automatically greened up to take whatever green is there. I had actually originally left the strategy so that once the liability was cleared, it would just sit in the hoping for another goal. But as you'll see from this from the spreadsheet, which I've inadvertently closed again, just give me a sec, you'll see that there's a number of games where I didn't end up with any profit. Yeah, so you see here, there's this one here, 0 profit, which is not what we want. This game I've already done, that's been done and dusted. I'm still waiting for the final result to confirm what profit is. There was only one bet matched, one back bet of £5 matched before a goal was scored. And so this one's all done and dusted, that's good. Again, 878, so that's, and 5 back bets taken. So it was £25 placed into the market and £8 return. So what's that? Roughly 30%, 33% return on investment for that. So that's good. Another one that I've got on the go is the women's game in the World Cup. I'm surprised how little goals have been scored in this Women's World Cup. Not that I've been watching it, but since I've been checking Jacob's Ladder, I've just been keeping an eye on some of the scorelines. And there haven't been particularly high-scoring games. So what I'm going to do, I'll just pause the video just now. And once this liability starts to get cleared in the Chelsea game, I'll come back and let you see that. Actually, I've come in back a little bit early to let you see that this error, condition error live score data, is unavailable. This rule here is checking for the number of seconds or minutes since the start of the second half. So Fairbot hasn't received the info from Betfair yet that the second half has started. In actual fact, looking across at the Betfair site, it's actually still half time in the Newcastle game, which is currently 1-1. I don't know why we don't have a score bar at the top here. One of the quirks of Betfair, I guess. So we're still waiting for half time to end and the second half to kick off, and then what we should see is that will disappear and the lay bets should start going in. Now going over to the USA game, looks like there's been a goal scored. Because of the 0.5 goals, market has been closed. Let's just switch to that. Yep, goal scored in 17 minutes. So that should be kicking off fairly soon. Once it gets to 20 minutes or so, we should get back bets placed into the 2.5 goals market. So let me scroll down there. So this will start to implement its bets in a couple of minutes. Yeah, so I'm really pleased at the way this is working now. Now that I'm actually using all these linked markets to ascertain whether a goal has been scored, I'm finding that much more reliable. As I tried to explain to you in the earlier video that demonstrated how to use linked markets in the over and unders to decide how many goals have been scored, it certainly seems to be so much more reliable. And it means that your automation isn't continually tricked by false suspensions and VARs and so on and so forth. It seems to work a lot more reliably. I think the only issue with it potentially is that effectively that before you're able to know if there's a goal being scored, there's a longer delay. Now, whether that's an issue for your strategy, I don't know. That's something that you'll have to decide. Okay, there you saw the bets starting to go in. 20-minute mark, so that's the first one going in and being accepted at 1.53 on the over 2.5 market. If we switch over to the Newcastle-Chelsea game, that's still half time. And as you can see up here, and I'm looking across at the Betfair site, and it's certainly still saying it's half time. So this condition error isn't a critical error. It's simply unable to ascertain that condition at the moment because that condition hasn't been fed from Betfair to Fairbot. But once it is, we should find bets starting to come in. So if I switch back to the women's match, we should be getting a further bet coming in very shortly. Keeping in mind that we are purely on the over 2.5 market. Now, whilst I'm scrolling down here, keep in mind that there's essentially three strategies in one here, all of which do the same thing. And only one of them is active, depending on the situation 20 minutes into the game, how many goals have been scored. But essentially what it does is it does the drip feeding into the market after 20 minutes. That's when it starts. There's a trade out if all of your full stake is used. So I've got it configured to put in £5 bets, 20 of them. So there's a total of £100. So that'll take you approximately from the 20-minute mark all the way up to so it's getting on for 70 minutes. 65 minutes. And what happens is when that very last bet goes in and you've essentially committed £100 to the market, that immediately causes this trade out option to trigger. So I don't have a trade out to say, right, trade out if it's £50, that's it. What you'll find is that works out at roughly £50 anyway. It hovers around sort of 45 to 55. And the other thing is there's also a green up once the lays are finished, as I mentioned earlier. So the lays go in £5 a time and they nibble away at the liability. And once that liability is cut down to zero, that triggers this green up. So we green up after that, unless there's a goal in the interim. So if the lays aren't fully completed and there's another goal, that market is going to be closed anyway, and you'll get whatever profit you have sitting on the over 2.5s at that time. Okay, the Newcastle-Chelsea game appears to be off and running again. Hopefully that should clear soon. Unless this condition is dependent on having one of these score bars at the top, in which case that's going to screw things up. I'll give it another minute or so, and if not, I'll just manually trade out here. Because the lays can't go in. Where am I? Further down. The lays can't go in if it still thinks it's half time. And it still thinks it's half time up here because of that. So as you saw in a previous video I did earlier on this week, these two talk to each other when half time comes along, and it recognises that because the half time market has been closed. Come the second half, which is monitored by this conditional statement here, come the second half, this reset option resets that counter to 0, which then causes the lays or whatever bets to continue. I'm suspecting, according to the Newcastle-Chelsea entry in the Betfair site, I'm looking across on another monitor here, we're at 46 minutes, so this should have kicked in again. So I suspect that this thing here is dependent on whatever the score and match status feed that can be displayed at the top. So that might be an issue. So what I'm going to do here is, since I'm monitoring, I'm just going to take that and green up. And take the £17, and that's us all done and dusted on that one. That one's all done and dusted. We just need to have a look at the women's match. So we've still got back bets getting fed into the market. Let's see how many have gone in. Up here, so we've got 3 in at the moment, as confirmed by there. As I said, I've got a killer fill on these of a minute. So on occasion, depending on how liquid the market is, generally speaking, you should be okay on this match. There's plenty of money in it. But some of the other matches that I've been using to test this, it's been very, very thin. Okay, so there you have it. The Jacob's Ladder in a nutshell. Hopefully you found that interesting. I'll speak to you later. Cheers.